What's up, guys? It is Gray, aka the Hokage, and today it's Bleach Friday on time this time because I remembered. Anyway, this week was pretty good. This week wasn't quite as crazy as some of the last couple weeks, but it was pretty good. We do get a big fight here, and it is Uryu Ishida. I still don't know how to properly pronounce that. Versus Mayuri Kuristachi, which is the Squad 12 captain. He's the Frieza one. If anyone doesn't know, he's the one that's like, yo, ho, ho, ho. He's like very, very blatantly evil. Which is interesting because Yellow, Jesus Christ. Later, why did I say? Because Yellow. Later, he's like a good guy. Either way, sorry, like Twitter was pulled up and it was very distracting because there was a video. First of all, before we get into the episode, you should go bonkai on that like button for me and like and subscribe because why not? More Bleach content. Yippee! So, also, there's going to be a very, very brief spoiler talk at the very end of this. God, my hat is warped. It's infuriating. How can I be the Hokage when my hat doesn't function? Despicable. Okay, anyway, there's going to be a very brief spoiler discussion at the end of the video because there are some stuff in here that I want to talk about. So it starts off where we left off. Ishida's getting up because he cursed Dachi, talked bad about his dad, grandpa, not his dad. He does talk about his dad. His dad's like, don't be Quincy. And Ishida's like, why don't you want to be Quincy? He's like, they don't make any money. Which we do get more on that later, but that's some like manga spoiler stuff, so I'm not going to get into it. We do get a little bit more about his dad. And also we see his dad a little bit later also. Not important right now. And then his grandpa's like, hey, don't discredit your dad, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's just, oh, no, I didn't change them. Such a rookie mistake. Anyway, and he's fighting Mayuri. And Mayuri, like, does a weird thing where he, like, rips off his ear and uses it as, like, a sickle. Like a ranged sickle. Which I don't remember him being able to do. But, hey, nice. And Ishida is able to move using a Quincy technique where he's, like, controlling spirit threads to move his limbs because the paralysis from Mayuri's poison from his Zanpakuto is making it so he's paralyzed, so he couldn't move. Jeez. And he's like shooting at him, and Mayuri's just beating the ever-living crap out of him. And then he's like, haha, I'm gonna beat you. And then Ishida's like, fine, I guess I'll just use the final Quincy technique. And he uses the one, I don't remember what it's called, it's a German word. Basically he's like, this is gonna, he like breaks his glove, and then he's like, this is gonna make it to where I'm gonna be super powerful, but I'm gonna lose my Quincy powers. Because this is Bleach, where people losing their powers is temporary. Always. And he gets, like a cool wing and a new outfit, and Mayuri's like, oh, what's this? Like, what's this gonna do? And then he like he blows off his arm in one shot, and he's like, fine, I'll use my Bonkai, and Mayuri goes Bonkai. And then Ishida just one bangs the Bonkai and Mayuri. Just one arrow. Destroys them both. Mayuri turns himself into goop. And then he slithers away. Which is interesting. Nemu is still on the ground. She's just like laying there the whole time. And she's like, hey, like, there's an antidote. And he's like, why are you giving me an antidote? She's like, thank you for sparing him. We get a little bit more on Nemu and Mayuri in the last arc of Bleach. It's very cool. Look forward to it. But Uryu takes it and then wanders off. He's very weak because he's losing his Quincy powers as we speak. He goes up the stairs, the same stairs that Ichigo went up to when he fought Kenpachi. And Kanami Tosen is there, and he's like, sorry about this. He uses Zanpakuto, and Uryu just conks unconscious and gets taken to the jail where all the other Ryoka are being held, which we'll talk about in a second. Actually, we'll talk about that right now. Might as well. Let's finish up this plot point. He wakes up, and Ganju and Chad are there, and they're like, hey, like, why are we being held? And they're like, a captain was murdered, so we're the prime suspects. And they're like, okay, well, if we're alive, then we can at least suspect that everyone else is alive. We got to Orihime, who's with Squad 11, like the big leagues of Squad 11, which is Yachiru, Kenpachi, because he took her there. Kenpachi's there. Oh, man, I'm like, Ikaku. Oh, no, I'm forgetting. Yamichika. There we go. They're all there, and they're like, and he's like, hey, is Ichigo still alive? And he's like, yeah. And Kabachi's like, yeah, I know he's alive. I can feel him. And he's like, don't worry, we'll help you. And she's like, oh, cool. That's the end of that. Then we go to Ichigo, who's training with Yorichi to get his Bankai. And she uses a Tenshintai, which is basically a doll where you stab it with your Zanpakuto, and then it forcefully manifests the spirit for you, and they use it to train for Bankai. Because that's the condition where you have to bring a Zanpakuto into your world, your outer world, to be able to manifest Bankai. Ichigo does that, and then he does the thing where there's like a bunch of swords on the ground. He's like, one of these is me. You have to use me to kill me, and then the rest are nonsense. And Ichigo's like, okay. And basically that's what he's doing. He's running around trying to find the real one. He does find like a dummy, one that looks like his Zanpakuto and Shikai, but obviously he wants him to find the Bankai. I believe, if I remember correctly, he wants him to find the Bankai. So the Shikai one is a debate, and it doesn't work. And Ichigo's like, oh no. And that's that plot. That's really the end of that plot point for now. Let's see. We'll talk about Izuru, Renji, and Momo's stories are all kind of intertwined. So I guess we'll just talk about the briefest one first. Izuru is in jail. He's like, I can't believe I raised my sword against Hinamori. Which, by the way, they put him in a straitjacket. They put Kira in a straitjacket for protecting. Why was Hinamori not put in a straitjacket? I don't understand. It seems so unfair to me. He literally was protecting his captain, and he's punished harder. But anyway, his jail cell is, sorry, my phone is a mess. Clearly, he's been like freaking out. And then Gin shows up, and he's like, hey, let me help you. And then later, just shows them walking. So I guess he let him out. And then his flashbacks, which we're going to talk about all the flashback stuff at once, because there's a lot of Soul Academy, Backflash stuff that I want to talk about. Fast forward. Not fast forward. Well, I guess a little bit. Let's do Renji. Because Renji, the last we saw Renji was his Zanpakuto manifested, Zabimaru. And now he broke out of his cell and he's just running. So that's that. And then Momo, she's like determined. And then she uses a weird, maybe it's a keto or something. She does something that puts the guard to sleep, which I've never seen. It's like it was like purple mist and the guard just like knocked out. It was really weird. It's not what her Zanpakuto is. Her Zanpakuto is fire. Tobiyume. Or Tobime? I don't remember. But, the fire one. And with all that said, now that we're wrapped up there, I guess we should probably talk about the flashback. Because it's a big chunk of these 3 episodes is the flashback to the Academy days. So I guess I'm just going to try and sum it up as best I can. Renji was put in the advanced course and Rukia wasn't. So that's why Rukia isn't there, which is weird because Rukia is... Well, Renji is stronger than Rukia, I guess. Actually, they're all lieutenants. That actually makes perfect sense. Never mind. But Rukia's bummed about it, obviously, because she wants to be there. And I feel like Renji could have been a better friend about it, but you know what I mean. Like, he's teasing her, but, like, clearly it hurts her more than she's letting on, and he is dumb and doesn't realize it. But they're cute together, nonetheless. Go Renji Rukia. He meets Kira. They're doing a keto practice, and Hinamori does like a good keto, like it's pretty good. And then Kira like nails it. It's like the 31. It's just like the red like laser, like the pachoo or red ball. He nails it. Hinamori does pretty good, and Renji's like, I got this, and he gets up and he like just explodes. He just explodes himself. Then later when they're doing sword fighting, Renji like beats Kira really badly, and they're like, oh, Kira, you okay, Renji? That was too hard. And he's like, whatever, and he like storms off. Kira finds him. He's like, hey, clearly we both got some work to do. You did good. Like, let's be friends. And he's like, okay. And they're buddies. And then they're going to the world of living to work on some dummy hollows, which are like fake hollows built to train them to fight. And they pass Rukia, and they're like, hey, Rukia, I'm going to go. I'm going to be way better than you. And she's like, oh, no. And then she's like, oh, I'm sad. They get there. We see Hisagi with like 2 other no names because they die. Spoilers. Their dad died in this episode. Hisagi has like super long emo hair, and I love it. And they're like, oh, that's Hisagi. He's guaranteed his position, but he failed the test 2 times. And they're like, wow, Hisagi sure is cool. And they go to the living. They break up into squads of 3. Obviously, Renji and Kira together. And then Momo's there. And they go to the world of living. They kill the fake hollow. They're like, teamwork. Good job. And then like a big Cthulhu-looking hollow shows up. And he can hide his spirit pressure. And, well, by hide, I mean it's all a part of Aizen's plan. But we don't know that yet. And then he shows up and he like kills the other guys, and Asagi's fighting alone. And then Momo's like, we can't just leave him. And they're like, why not? Also, it shows Hitsugaya. Momo lives with Hitsugaya, and she goes home on her free days to see him. And he's just like a punk kid. He still is, but now he's a punk kid with responsibility. I don't love Hitsugaya. I really don't. I never have. But he's popular, in Japan at least. What are you going to do? Anyway, just a random tidbit that I forgot to throw in. Also, Kira's parents are dead. And Aizen visited. And they're like, what? And Momo's like, I want to join that squad. And she does. So good work, Momo. And Gein's his lieutenant, which if it isn't very telling about what's happening right now, you know, it should be. But I know things the characters don't at this point, so. Anyway, Sagi's fighting the Hollow 1-on-1. He's losing very badly. They show up to help him, and they're just kind of running away because they can't fight him because it's like a really big hollow and it's scary. And then by the time they're almost out, and then like a ton of hollows manifest out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, we're screwed. Like, goodbye. Like, I'll start freaking out. And then Aizen and Gein show up. Gein's Zanpakuto just like sweeps the hollows. And then like one of them tries to like punch Aizen, and he stops it and shatters the whole hollow with his hand. It was sweet. And that's the end of that flashback. And then we go to Momo in the present, who's breaking out of her prison cell. So all the lieutenants are out running about right now is what that is. And yeah, so a good amount happened, but nothing super exciting. Also, don't forget to drink water. I'm dying over here because I've talked for like 11 minutes nonstop. Delicious. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So, you know, cool. I didn't forget about the spoiler talk, but I'm going to do my outro first. So that way people who don't care about spoilers can leave early. Also, about pulling pictures in the background, I was going to do it. The only reason I didn't do it this week is because I watched all the episodes on my phone. That's literally it. Also, I watched Beastars. Like, all of it. All the first season of Beastars. If you want me to do a review on it, I can. Because I have some pro and con thoughts about that show. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. See all of you next time. Subscribe, like the video. More Bleach on the way for sure. And Hero Academia. And some other stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Okay, we're doing the spoiler stuff, so please get off the video if you don't care about Bleach spoilers for the manga, because I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, so the Quincy stuff, because later we see Quincy's, and they are really powerful. All the Quincy's in the last arc are insanely powerful characters. Almost all of them are. And I don't remember this technique being referenced at all. Nor do I think Ishida references any techniques that are used there. Like, there's like... I forget what it's called. It's when they're equivalent to release, basically. It's like my true form. It's called something. It's like a German word. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know Resurrection is Espada, or a Ronkar. And I know Bonkai, but I don't remember the... But they have that, which is not referenced here. And then they also have Blutvein, which is like one of the most integral techniques to being a Quincy. And he doesn't mention that either. It just bummed me out that like so much... I'm not blaming this part, because obviously this was written way, way earlier. But it would have been nice if later on they harkened back to some of the stuff that Uryu used here. Or if any of the Quincy's used this technique later, it'd be really sweet. If they do... and I'm wrong, I would be ecstatic, but I don't think any of them do use any of these techniques. But if they do, that'd be awesome. Either way, that's really it. I just wanted to talk about some like disappointing, like whereas either Kenpachi was a sweet coincidence or it really was planned. I thought that was very well hinted at, but this was very like bummer that like none of the Quincy techniques later on were referenced at all. Either way, this really is it for me. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and see ya.